Welcome to Part 6 of the Argumentative Research Unit with English 1010E at Southern Utah University. This is the final week of the Argumentative Research Unit. So this week you are working on completing the solutions paper, and each team's topic is listed on our chart here. We're using the same teams that you used last week as you created your solutions paper research matrix. So remember, as you work now from transitioning from the research matrix to your solutions paper, you want to be the kind of person who's like the doctor that addresses both the causes of the problem and the effects of the problem. So here's a visual to represent what your paper should be doing. Your paper should briefly explain the problem, describe its negative effects, explain the causes, and then the majority of your paper should focus on proposing different solutions. And it should be evaluating whether the solutions are good at addressing effects or causes or both. So with each solution, what you want to make sure you do is evaluate those solutions, make sure that they have good support, and you want to help the reader understand, is this a good solution that is good for the short term? Does it solve some of the negative effects? Or does it also help solve and prevent the problem from happening by addressing the causes as well? So again, you want to identify that solution and ask yourself questions about that solution. What do the sources say about the solution? Is this a solution that's going to be good in the long term? Will people like it? Will people follow it? Will people agree that it helps solve the problem? You can look at the example solution papers if you haven't already. They're helpful to see different ways that a paper can be organized, and to see different ways that a writer can evaluate a solution. Neither of these papers is perfect, so you'll be able to also learn from some of the good things that these student writers do, but also learn from some of their mistakes so that you don't repeat them. Let's talk about some specific writing skills that can help you as you head into this last unit on argumentative research. And we want to talk about three things: creating a roadmap for your paper, using topic sentences, and using effective transitions. So a roadmap, as we think literally in language, is a diagram of a physical location, and we use the roadmap to tell us where we will drive on the road to get to our destination. So for example, here's a road map of southern Ontario in Canada. And this road map, the driver of the car will know that they're going to start near Windsor, Ontario, which is near Detroit, Michigan in the United States. They're going to drive across the peninsula. They'll reach Toronto, Canada at stage number 2. And then the final destination they will reach is the border of Ontario and Quebec, where the Canadian capital, Ottawa, is located. So this roadmap helps the driver know that they're going to pass through certain areas through their destination. The same way a roadmap can work with a paper. When we write an academic paper, we might have a thesis statement that lets the reader know how the paper is going to be organized and what are the main topics that will be discussed in the paper. So here's an example thesis statement from a paper that's analyzing the United States election in the year 2016. And it says here, the rise of populism in the 2016 political stage was in reaction to increasing globalization, the decline of manufacturing jobs, and the Syrian refugee crisis. The writer of this thesis statement has given a roadmap to the reader so the reader knows what to expect as they read the paper. The writer is going to write about 3 different topics as they describe their paper. We expect that the first topic will be about increasing globalization. We expect that the second topic will be the decline of manufacturing jobs in the United States. And the third will be the Syrian refugee crisis and its impact on the US. So the reader knows now to expect these things in this order. And this is how a roadmap works in academic writing. We let the reader know the major topics and the order that those major topics will happen. This is very helpful as a reader. So good writers, if possible, try to incorporate a roadmap into the beginning of a paper. Let's talk about our other topic sentences and transitions. So many of you are already doing a great job of using topic sentences. But just to clarify, a topic sentence helps explain the main idea of a paragraph. And we usually see it as the first sentence of a paragraph. Not always, but it's often there. And this is what lets the reader know this is the purpose of this paragraph. Keep it in mind as you read. This will help you to focus and help you understand it. And the rest of the paragraph is really there to provide details and citations and explanations for that main idea. As a reader, I use topic sentences all the time to help me follow the reading and to help me understand what the writer's trying to communicate in a larger document. Sometimes I don't have time to read a whole document, and sometimes all I do is read the topic sentences. And if the writer has written good topic sentences, I at least get the main outline of the paper. And then I can stop and read individual paragraphs if I need more details. But topic sentences are a great thing to use in all kinds of academic writing because they're very helpful for the reader. Now, related to topic sentences is the idea of a transition. And transitions are phrases that connect previous ideas with new ideas. And they're very important because they help the readers understand how new information is connecting to the information that's already been explained in the paper. And this helps the reader better remember the ideas because now they're remembering what has just been said, and then they're seeing how the new idea is connecting to the ideas that they're thinking about and remembering. Let's look at some examples. Now, as we look at these examples, we want to think about different types of transitions. And there are many different ways that transitions can be categorized or grouped. For example, addition ones. We use additional phrases to help show that this is another one of a similar kind of group of ideas. We use contrasting transitions to show that there's maybe an opposition between these ideas. Maybe they don't agree with each other, or they're different ways of doing things. We use sequence transitions to help the readers understand here's a set of steps or things that are organized. And you can use emphasis transitions to show that one idea maybe is stronger or more important than the other. Now, there are more transition types than just these four, but these are a good number to get you started, and they're probably some of the most commonly used transition types in academic writing. So here is a few topic sentences that I took from an example student paper. And this first topic sentence, this is coming after the introduction. Introduction has already happened. Now we're at the first body paragraph, and we see this sentence. The first model of distance learning is synchronous. So this one's using what we might think of as those sequence transitions. They're using the first, the second, the third, or sometimes the next. In fact, when I looked later in the paper, that was one of the topic sentences of another body paragraph said, the next model is synchronous. And then it went on to explain what synchronous distance learning is. And then a final paragraph before the conclusion said, the final model is blended learning. So they've used three different phrases for transition that are all of that sequence type. The first, the next, the final. Now this is pretty basic. This is not sophisticated, it's not very interesting, but at least it's informative and it helps remind the reader that there are three different types and they're clearly identifying them in the topic sentences. So that's one approach you could take. If you were writing your solution paper, you could say the first solution is X. The next solution is Y. The last solution is Z. Not very dynamic or interesting, but it would work. Now here's something that's a little more complicated. Let's look at, there's two topic sentences that I've taken from two different body paragraphs. This was a an essay about student evaluations in university classes, where students evaluate the teacher at the end of the semester. So this first topic sentence says, not only do student evaluations help with faculty development, but they also help with hiring and promotion decisions. So this is an interesting topic sentence with a transition, because we can guess now that the previous section talked about how student evaluations help with faculty development, that they're a tool that teachers can use to help themselves get better. But now the writer here is telling us, but that's not the topic of this new section. The new section is about hiring and promotion decisions. And so the writer has used this kind of addition transition to say, we already talked about this, but now we're going to talk about this. And later on in the paper, we see this next topic sentence is at the bottom there. However, while student evaluations can help with both faculty development and hiring decisions, their current form presents problems for both uses. So now here we're getting almost a contrast transition. And the writer has explained two possible uses of student evaluations, but now the writer is trying to switch the paper to a new idea, which is that student evaluations are not very good at doing their job. And then we expect that the writer will probably explain what their problem is and how they could be fixed or improved. So we can see here that transition phrases within topic sentences are really helpful at guiding the reader to understand what has been said, what is going to be said, and how those ideas connect to each other. So as you look at writing your solutions paper, be thinking about ways that you can incorporate these good writing skills. Can you add a roadmap to your thesis statement? Can you make good use of topic sentences with every body paragraph so that the reader knows exactly what the topic of that paragraph is going to be? And can you incorporate transitions into those topic sentences that help the reader understand how the new paragraph connects to the previous paragraph? Are they similar things? Are they contrasting things? Are they part of a list? What's the connection? Your tasks for this week for writing are to create an outline based on your solutions research matrix. As you look at that outline, make sure that all your body paragraphs will be supported by sources. As you start writing your introduction, make sure that your thesis statement has a roadmap. As you write your body paragraphs, make sure that they have topic sentences and try to use some effective transitions. When you are done, complete that paper and submit it through Canvas. Send any questions to your instructor.